So today we are going to discuss about a very interesting topic, how to enroll user to Thinkific course when a tag is added to ConvertKit automatically. So you are adding lot of subscribers in ConvertKit from different sources and for different purposes, and now you want to enroll those subscribers as a user to a Thinkific course automatically only when that subscriber has been created along with a specific tag, and that tag is somehow related to your Thinkific application. So if you also want to learn how to automate the process of enrolling the users to a Thinkific course automatically whenever the subscriber is created with a tag in ConvertKit, then come with me and I will show you everything step by step. So this is my ConvertKit application where no subscribers are available, and firstly I will create a new tag with the name student, and then I will add a new subscriber in front of you along with the same tag, and as soon as I do that you will see how the same subscriber will be enrolled automatically to my Thinkific course. But to automate this whole process, firstly we will have to build a connection in ConvertKit and Thinkific application, so which I am going to do with the help of software called as Pabbly Connect, which is an integration and automation software. I am an existing user of Pabbly Connect, so I am already logged in, but you can create your free account in Pabbly Connect in just 2 minutes from this sign up free button, and in the free account you will also get free tasks to test these kind of amazing automation. Now once you will log in and reach out to the dashboard of Pabbly Connect, click on this blue button that is create workflow, and then provide a random name to your workflow to your automation. Okay, so I have directly pasted the name as enroll user to Thinkific course when tag is added to ConvertKit. Now simply click on create, and then you will find two boxes. So these boxes are called as trigger and action, and here the trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So whenever something happen in the first application, then automatically do this in the next application. Okay, so this is how you need to choose the applications in this trigger and the action window in which you are building an automation. Okay, so according to our use case, we want that whenever a new subscriber is created along with a tag in ConvertKit application, then automatically enroll the very same subscriber to our Thinkific course. So that is why I am selecting Thinkific in the action application. Okay, and now the idea here is, firstly I am going to connect ConvertKit with the Pabbly Connect and will capture the subscriber details here, and then I will connect Pabbly Connect with the Thinkific, and in this way I am going to send the ConvertKit data to Thinkific with the help of Pabbly Connect. Okay, so let us connect ConvertKit with the Pabbly Connect. Now I'll be selecting the trigger event, that is new tag subscriber. Okay, you can also read the instruction. Triggers when a tag is added to a subscriber. So yes, I want to perform the same. Now clicking on connect, then clicking on add a new connection, and for the connection it is asking for the API key and the API secret key. Okay, so you can read this instruction and directly click on this hyperlink, and if you are already logged in your ConvertKit application, it will redirect you to that specific place from where you can actually get the API key. Okay, so I have clicked on advanced from the left hand sidebar, and here exactly you will find the API key. Okay, so I have copied the same and pasted the same, asking for the API secret. So clicking on show, and once again I have copied that API secret, pasting the same, clicking on save, and this is how my ConvertKit application will be immediately connected with the Pabbly Connect. And because we are connected, whatever the tags are already available in my ConvertKit account have started visible here. Okay, so currently you can notice two tags, that is Facebook leads and then leads. Okay, coming back here, and now firstly I'll create a new tag in front of you. Okay, so how about I provide the name to my tag something like student, clicking on save, and as soon as the as soon as the tag is created here, the same tag will be visible here also. Okay, so firstly I'll have to click on this refresh button to fetch the new items, or I can click on this refresh fields also. Okay, and now once again I will open this drop down, and here you can find the same tag. going back to my ConvertKit application, and once again you can find the same tag here. And now I'll be clicking on this button, save and send test request, and you will see that it will start waiting for the response. Okay, so which means it is actually waiting for the subscriber data. Okay, read the instruction. Once you have clicked over the save and send test request button, do a test submission record in that application in order to capture the response. Okay, so basically it is asking to do a test submission or record, and here the test submission means creation of a new subscriber along with our tag in ConvertKit email marketing application. Okay, so let me do the same. Firstly, I'll add a new subscriber here. Okay, currently I'm adding this subscriber manually, but don't worry about that. If you will import the subscribers along with the tag from somewhere, in that case also this automation will work. Asking for the first name, so here I will add the name something like test student. Okay, asking for the email address, so again I'm going to provide a dummy email address only because I'm creating this automation just to show you how things can be created. Okay, @pablitudes.com, and now include these subscribers. So among this I am going with this tags section, that is the student. Okay, so I have selected the very same tag, clicking on the save button, and as soon as that subscriber will be created here along with the very same tag, you will notice that the same data will be received via Pabbly Connect. And here you can notice the response is already received. Let me show you the details one by one. Here we have the state of the subscriber as active. Here we have the ID of the subscriber, the first name. Basically I have provided the first name, last name, both the things in my first name field. Here I have the email address and the date. Okay, so the presence of this data clearly shows that the connection in between ConvertKit and Pabbly Connect is working absolutely fine. Okay, so now onwards what will happen, every time a new subscriber is created along with the student tag, the details will be captured via Pabbly Connect instantly, because this trigger will instantly capture new incoming data and the workflow execution will start in real time. Okay, so in this way the first step of our automation is done, and now moving further I am going to enroll this particular subscriber to my Thinkific course. Okay, but before I enroll this user to Thinkific course, firstly I will also have to check whether this user is already a member of Thinkific or not. Okay, so basically we have two conditions here. The first condition is the user is already exist in our Thinkific account. Okay, this is going to be the first condition, and the second condition is the user does not exist already. Okay, so let me add the same, does not exist already. Okay, so what we will do in our first case, if the user is already exist, in that case we do not need to add that user in Thinkific. We are going to directly enroll the user to course. Okay, in that case we will directly enroll the user to our course. But if that user does not exist already, so we will have to firstly create user in Thinkific. Okay, and then further we will enroll this new user to course. Okay, so in this way our automation will take place. And now you tell me how we can create this whole scenario in our automation within our automation. Okay, so don't worry about that, I will show you everything step by step. Okay, so firstly we are going to search for the user. So here in this action event you will have to search for the same, that is search user. And because I only have an email ID of the subscriber, so with the help of email ID only I can do this research, so that is why I'll go with the same. Okay, now just like we have connected ConvertKit and Pabbly Connect, now I'm going to connect Thinkific with the Pabbly Connect. So click on add new connection, click on connect with Thinkific, and then it will ask you for the subdomain. Okay, so you can find your subdomain from the URL. Okay, so you will have to copy this specific part before this thinkific.com, this particular part. Okay, so I have pasted the same, clicking on save, and this is how my Thinkific account will be also connected with the Pabbly Connect immediately. Okay, here you can notice the authorization is successful. Okay, and now you can notice we are connected. Okay, so firstly it is asking that you would like to search by which particular thing. Okay, so I only have the ID of the subscriber, so I am going to select the same, that is email. Okay, because I only have the subscriber ID. Okay, so let me search for the same, let me select the same, that is email. So here in the search value I am going to provide the very same email ID which we have received from our Pabbly Connect response, basically from our ConvertKit step response. Okay, so here we have that email ID, and the interesting thing is I am not going to manually copy this email ID and paste here, because if I will do that, what will happen, the same ID will be searched every time, because I am going to specify this value manually. Okay, so that is why I will avoid adding the values manually. Instead of that, I will map the details. Okay, and mapping is very simple. When you will click on this field, you will find the above data here in the drop down. Simply select that data, and this is how the values will be mapped. Okay, now you must be thinking, what is the significance of mapping? So whatever the details you will map here will be replaced automatically when this automation will work in real time, but whatever the detail you will provide here manually will remain same. Okay, so this is the difference. Asking for the page number to use in pagination. For example, if you make a list request and receive 100 records, your subsequent call can include page is equal to 2. Okay, so currently I'll leave this page blank and it will take the default value. Okay, so how about I click on this button, save and send test request, and we will see whether this user is already a member of Thinkific or not. Okay, so here you can notice the detail of the user has been fetched, and here we have the item ID and the same person with the same email ID. That means this user is already a user in our Thinkific account. Okay, so here I would like to tell you that I have already added this particular person as a Thinkific user intentionally, so that I can show you how the data of existing users will appear here. Now what was the case whenever user already exists? In that case, okay, let me first correct the spelling. Okay, so whenever user is already existed, directly enroll the user to course. Okay, but what will happen when user does not exist? We want that this steps should be executed. Okay, so in order to build these two scenarios within our automation, we will use an interesting feature of Pabbly Connect called as router. Okay, so with the help of router, we can add as many as condition as we want, as many as router step as we want from this particular button. Currently we only have two scenarios, so that is why I'll go with two routes only. Okay, so firstly I will rename both the steps. Okay, so first one will be for when user, or I can say item ID, already exist. Okay, and then second one will of course go for when the user ID does not exist. Okay, so clicking on update, and firstly I will build the whole scenario for my first step. Okay, so clicking on the set filter and action step, and here in this particular field you will find the above data. So again I am going to map the data. Now which data I will map here? Basically this item ID, because whenever this item ID exists, that means the subscriber is already available, basically the user is already available in Thinkific. But if that ID does not exist, that means the user is not already available in our Thinkific account. Okay, so here also I am going to build the same scenario, that is whenever the item ID exists. Okay, and as soon as I click on this button, you will notice that the condition will be true. Now you tell me why this condition is true? Because we have set the same scenario, the same condition, that whenever the item ID exists, this step should be executed, and that is why according to current scenario the condition is true. But for cases when our automation found out that the item ID does not exist, in such cases this condition will be false. That means this router step will not be executed, basically the second router step will be executed. Okay, so let us move further, and because IT is already exist, because the ID is already exist, so that means the user is already present, so kindly enroll that user to a course directly. Okay, so in order to enroll the user to a Thinkific course, of course I will have to select the very same application once again, and this time the action event will be enroll the user. Okay, here we have the same action event, and again I'll be connecting Thinkific with Pabbly Connect, but this time I'll go with the existing connection, clicking on save, and this is how it will be connected with the Pabbly Connect once again. And now it is asking that in which particular course you would like to enroll the user. Okay, so because we are connected here, you can notice whatever the courses are available inside my Thinkific account have started visible here, and I am creating this whole automation for this particular course. I want that whenever the tag is created in a subscriber, the same person should be enrolled in this PHP course for beginners. So that is why I will be selecting the same course name. Now it is asking the ID of the user. Basically, whatever the user you are enrolling here, you will have to provide the ID. So instead of selecting any ID from the drop down, I am going to map it, because I have already told you the difference that if you will provide any data manually, that data will remain same. But I want that with every new subscriber, this automation should work in real time automatically. Okay, so that is why I am going to map the ID. And from where I can map the ID, remember we have searched for that user. So in the response of this search user, in the response of the second step, we have got the item ID. So I have mapped the ID of the user, and now it is asking for the date, the expiry date and this activated date. Okay, so if you want to enroll this user for a lifetime period, you can leave these two fields blank. But let's say you want to expire the enrollment of this user on a specific date, you can provide the activated date as well as the expiry date. Currently I'll go with blank field. Now I'll be clicking on this button, save and send test request, and I'm really expecting that the same user should be enrolled automatically in my PHP course. Okay, so here you can notice the positive response is received, which is saying that our automation is working. Let us go back, and this is our course. Okay, now I will directly open the student section. Okay, support your students. Here we have the user section, and remember we have the email ID as teststudent123@pabblytutor.com. and where is that ID? I'll have to check. Alright, so here we have that ID, and here you can notice it is saying that it is enrolled into one course. Okay, so how about I open this user and check for the enrollments, and here you can notice this test student is already enrolled in our PHP course for beginners. Okay, so in this way you can directly enroll the users who are already the part of Thinkific. Okay, so in this way the first router step is done. Okay, now I will close it, and now I will set the second scenario that whenever the user is not available in your Thinkific account, basically whatever the subscribers data we are fetching here, firstly we were checking this particular user in Thinkific, and this time assume that the user is not already present in Thinkific. Okay, so what will happen? It is firstly going to create that user, and then further it is going to enroll that user to a same course. Okay, so in the second router step I am going to build the same scenario, but before that firstly I am going to rename this step. Okay, but before I rename it, I will show you a very short trick. Okay, so instead of doing everything from scratch, you can do one more thing. Simply click on this three dot, and here you will find the option of clone. So yes, you can clone the very same router step exactly. Okay, so as soon as you click on this button, you will notice that the same first step has been cloned here. So I can delete this existing router step because I do not need to do everything from scratch. Okay, so if I will open this particular step, you will notice two steps are already added, which we have added in our first router step. Okay, so in this way you can save your time. Okay, this is a small trick from my side, a shortest trick. Okay, now I am going to rename this router step something like when user or item ID does not already exist. Okay, doesn't already exist. Okay, so basically our second router step is for this particular case. Clicking on update, now I am going to open the set filter and action step, and instead of going this exist, instead of going with this filter type exist, I will select it as it does not exist. Okay, clicking on this button, and you tell me what condition, basically what response it will give us. Basically it has given us the error that is condition is false, because currently we we are testing which scenario? Basically we are testing this particular ID, and remember this user ID was already present, were already present, so that is why it is showing condition is false. But we will have to assume that this particular step is getting executed for which case? When ID does not exist. Okay, so whenever our automation will find out that item ID does not exist, in such cases our condition will be true. Okay, and whenever the condition is true, what should be the next step? So basically it should firstly create that user, and then it should enroll the very same user to our course. Okay, so before this enroll user step, I am going to again connect Thinkific with the Pabbly Connect. Okay, so give me a second, let me do the same, and this time the action event will be create a user first. Okay, clicking on connect, and this time I'll go with the existing connection, clicking on save, and this is how Thinkific will be connected with the Pabbly Connect once again. And now it is asking for the user details. Okay, so again I am going to map the above data, and mapping is very simple. Click on this field and you will find the above data here in the drop down, and we have the name of the person here. Okay, so where is the name of the person? That is test student. Asking for the last name of the person, let me open the same. Where is the last name? All right, I have mapped it successfully. Asking for the email address of the person. Well, I'm really sorry, I'm mapping the data from incorrect step. Okay, so basically we want to create which user, which has just got created as a subscriber along with our tag. Okay, so firstly I'll have to remove this data. Okay, and now I'm going to map the data from my ConvertKit step. Okay, so once again clicking on this field, and here we have all the data, and here we have the first name as test student, and I'm really sorry, I do not have the first name and last name field separately. Okay, so I can do one more thing, I will map the full name here in the first name as well as in the last name. Okay, or you can do one more thing, you can split your first name and last name individually. Okay, for that you'll have to click on this plus icon, and with the help of text formatter feature of Pabbly Connect, basically with the help of split function of your text formatter, you can actually split your first name and last name and map those two values individually. Okay, currently I'll go with the same. If you want to learn how text formatter or how split function actually works, you can check the working of the same on our channel. There are a lot of video tutorials available. Okay, and if you still do not understand how it can be done, you can post your doubt in comment section. I will create a dedicated video for the same. Asking for the email ID, so let me map this test student at 123. Okay, asking for the password, the roles. Okay, so here I would like to add this user as a student. Okay, so I'm not going to select any role from these particular section, and it is asking for other details also. Okay, so I am going to leave all this data blank. Currently I have provided the data only into the important, only into the required fields. Okay, so clicking on this button save and send test request, and in the response you will notice that it will give you that this person is already exist. Okay, has already been taken. Okay, why it is showing that? Remember, when we have checked for our automation, okay, when we have searched for that user, it has clearly told us by giving this response that this person is already exist. Okay, so how the same person can be created in Thinkific once again? Okay, so what I will do, I'll click on this recapture webhook response button once again, and this time I will create one more subscriber along with the same student tag, but I will make sure that this time the person should not be the part of Thinkific, because I want to show you how users, how new users can also be enrolled by following this particular router step. Okay, so this is my ConvertKit dashboard. Let me click on this add a subscriber button, and here in the first name I will write something like demo and then user. Okay, and I am intentionally adding this double R and double M so that I can create a unique name. Okay, I can create a unique subscriber because I know the demo user is already the part of Thinkific. Okay, and in the email address also I will be adding the same, that is demo and user with the double M and double R spelling 321 @ and pabblytudes.com. Again, these are just a dummy detail, and as as a tag, I will be selecting this student, clicking on save, and as soon as the subscriber is created here, you will notice once again the response will be received via Pabbly Connect. Okay, so I will have to check for that response, and here you can notice the response is received, and this time we have this particular first name and this particular email address. Okay, and now you just need to click on this refresh button. So in this way, what will happen, the same user details will be mapped automatically in whatever the places we have mapped our previous email ID and first name and last name. Those details will be replaced automatically. So let me show you the same thing. Here we were actually setting up our second scenario, and I have already applied this filter step, that is whenever item ID does not exist and we were about to create the user but this user was already exist. Okay, so currently I will map the ID of which user. Well, here you can notice I don't need to do any changes here because that new person first name, last name and email address, every detail has been replaced and added here automatically. Okay, so I just need to click on this button save and send test request, and this time in the response you will notice that the same user will be created here automatically. Okay, so in this way this step is also executed. Okay, basically which step, first to create a user, and now finally I am going to enroll this new user to my PHP course. Okay, so the application, basically the step is already added here. I just need to check my data. Okay, so make sure that you also replace this user ID. Okay, because the user which we have created just now has the ID of which particular thing, that is 2447. Okay, I'll have to check whether it is the same ID or not. No, this is the ID of that previous user which is already available in our Thinkific account. Okay, so let me remove it, and now let me map the ID of that user which we have created just now. Okay, that is 2447. Okay, other than this ID, let me check whether I need to provide any other details also. Okay, so the course name will be the same, the user ID, well, I have mapped the new ID, and again it is up to you whether you want to expire the enrollment of this new user on a specific date. Okay, so again I will be leaving this blank, clicking on this button save and send test request, and I'm really expecting that this user should be enrolled automatically to my PHP course. Well, it is giving a positive response. Okay, so firstly I'll show you the user section of this Thinkific. Okay, here we have support your student section, and here is the user section. Now I am expecting the very same user here. Okay, fingers crossed. And here you can notice that demo user and demo user, the same user has been created automatically in my Thinkific account as a user, and it is also showing one enrollment. Okay, so let me open and check for the enrollment whether this particular person has been successfully enrolled to our course or not. And yes, it is successfully enrolled in our PHP course which we have specified in our automation. Okay, so did you notice that how with the help of this automation and how with the help of Pabbly Connect the entire user enrollment process has been automated? Okay, so you need to create this automation inside Pabbly Connect just once. After that you can sit back and relax because Pabbly Connect will take care of all the tasks in the backend. You do not have to do anything manually. Okay, so basically what will happen now onwards, every time you and your team member will create a subscriber along with that student tag in ConvertKit, firstly our automation will check that user is already present or not. If that user is already present, it is going to execute our first router step. Basically it is going to enroll that user to a course directly, and if that user does not exist already, in that case it is going to execute our second router step, and then it will firstly create that user in Thinkific and further it will enroll that new user to Thinkific. Okay, so in this way you can automate this process very easily. And I think I have actually forgot to tell you a very important thing. Okay, when we have captured the data of new person, we have not actually searched this user in our Thinkific. Okay, so remember, because we have mapped the detail, the email ID has been replaced automatically. I just need to click on the save and send test request button, and in the response currently you will find out that this user is already already exists, okay, because we have actually created it, okay. So how about I firstly delete this user and then I'll click on this button and will show you in cases when items ID does not exist how our response will appear, okay. So give me a second. Alright, so I am about to delete this demo user, clicking on this button, okay, and this particular user has been deleted. Coming back, and now I'll click on this button once again, and this time you can notice the response, okay. Here you can notice the item ID does not exist in this particular response. So this is how your response will be look like, okay. Just in case if you want to access this whole automation inside your own Pabbly Connect account, I will also attach the link of my workflow into the description box. So you just need to click on that link and then sign up for free into the Pabbly Connect, and then you will be able to access the same workflow inside your own Pabbly Connect account, that too for free. Not just these applications, you can integrate multiple applications and automate your business with Pabbly Connect. You can ask your queries at forum.pabbly.com. My team will surely answer to your questions. This is the website of Pabbly Connect, and for the latest updates of Pabbly Connect and unique automation ideas, you can join our Facebook group, that is formget.deals. If you have found this video helpful in any way, share it with your friends and colleagues and also help them to automate their business. Like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video.